The 4 events you just mentioned, 2 are on the same week, right? So it's 2 birds, 1 stone. So if you take those 3 events, they are probably 3 of the top 6 weeks of the year for us, as far as an event standpoint, both from a profitability standpoint, from employee engagement standpoint, from the community getting behind it. I mean, it's just, those are the biggest things that we do. We work on them all year long. Every year we try to do a little bit more for the promoters. We try to do a little bit more with the employees. For the equestrian events, we promote them. We'll do 5 weeks this year where the employees are encouraged to dress in equestrian attire, Western attire. It brings a level of comfort to the employees and the people that are attending the Western events. The bowling event is one with which it's the largest event that we do, but it's 5 months long. So it doesn't feel like, when we first got it, the employer's like, wait, I thought this was gonna be like NFR. Well, it is. It's like 10 NFRs, but it's spread over 5 months. So it doesn't have that same feel. So they're all different, but the events that you just named, those are the biggest and best that we do. Starts with the culture of the ownership. Michael Gaughan, between NASCAR and the Western Way of Life events, that is who he is at his core. So he's always surrounded himself with people that have those same kind of philosophies and beliefs, and then it bleeds into the culture of the employees. If you don't buy into those types of events, then you're not going to be very successful around here, just because it's a culture, if you will. Now each event is different on what we give them as far as signage or welcome events. We look at it from a room count head standpoint, and then we take a look at what the impact is to the property. The bigger you are, the more you can have, because a lot of times we'll have 4 or 5 events going on at the same time. So we don't want to cater to one event more than the other. We try to play fair in the sandbox. But those large events that we're discussing, we make sure that they know we are so happy they're here. And whether it's employees dressing up in the attire I talked about earlier, or room keys, obviously the South Point 400 was one that we really got behind, because that was now our event. So we didn't have to worry about other events saying, well, why do they get this, this, and this? Because it's South Point. So we did felts, we did employee uniforms, we renamed one of our bar the South Point 400 bar, and it's just about being front of mind. It's about the employees knowing what's going on and why we did it. We did the press conference here. We did our Employee of the Year luncheon last year, was NASCAR related, and you just let them know how important it is to the property, and our employees are so wonderful that we get the buy-in pretty quickly. The participants in what we have built, that's why we built it. So there's enough arenas in town, we thought, that was servicing the needs of the town. How could we bring more events, different events to this town that they didn't have? So we built an equestrian center, 4,600 seat arena, 1,200 horse stalls, vet clinic, feed store, farrier center, and we attached it to a hotel and casino. There's a lot of equestrian centers across the country. There are none attached to a hotel and casino, and definitely none on Las Vegas Boulevard. So when these groups found out about us and they see the first-class facility and they see the amenities and what we can offer and how close it is to their hotel room and everything's indoors and climate controlled, it brought us all of the events that we house here wouldn't have been here because there wasn't a facility that could have housed it, is the first thing. And then the second thing, there's only one other bowling tournament facility in the country, and that one is not attached to a hotel and casino. So those 2 unique points brought Las Vegas 2 facilities that are the only ones in existence attached to a hotel and casino, and that allowed us to go after events that we weren't fighting with the MGM Grand or the Thomas & Mack or the Silverboard, the Orleans Arena, all these other arenas that often attract the same type of group. We could attract different types of group, and it just so happens most of those groups are participatory event. The USBC, United States Bowling Congress Open Championship, largest participatory event in the world. It'll start March 9th. We are up to 50,000 bowlers, and by the time it kicks off, we think we'll be at 57 or 58,000 participants in one tournament. I mean, you look at something like that, and it makes perfect sense for us. Where there's not a lot of crowd watching it, but when you have 57,000 participants, you don't need 2,000 or 3,000 people in the stands watching. You have enough just from the people involved in the event. So equestrian, bowling, and NASCAR, again, those are the things, and we keep going back to the same thing, but that's Michael Gaughan, and that's who he is, and he's so involved, and he wants to make sure that he supports the things that are dear to him. That makes it legitimate, and I think the participants feel the love, if you will. And NASCAR is one of those things. Obviously, Brendan Gaughan has been very involved in NASCAR for gosh, I don't know how long. It's been a long career through all the different levels of racing, whether it's off-road, truck racing, Xfinity, or Cup. He's been involved with. Well, last year he decided to take a step back. His kids are getting old enough where he didn't want to be on the road every week, so he'll still race in a couple races on an annual basis, but for the most part he was going to pull back a little bit. That was our big commitment to NASCAR. We were the only casino, hotel with a car racing on the track. So when those sponsorship dollars went away because we weren't sponsoring the car, we had a conversation on how can we still contribute to the racing community, and what better way than support the new race in Las Vegas, first playoff race, call it the South Point 400. We actually upped our commitment to the world of NASCAR. And again, those loyal fans, those NASCAR fans, they know it, they appreciate it, and they reward us with their patronage when they come because we know how to treat them. I mean, that's kind of who we are. So we've been busy. Mostly we're back to the casino. For a while we were out in the Arena and Equestrian Center. So we built this building. We had this used to be an outdoor open-air practice facility. Now it's the Preferred Pavilion, 80,000 square feet. It's usually filled with dirt. We can't take the dirt out and do events like this. Above us is the bowling tournament plaza that we discussed. We got those in play. We've made some upgrades to the arena. This last year we've really focused on the casino. We're 13 years old. It's time to make sure the paint's fresh and everything else. So in September we will complete a $30 million room remodel. Every one of our standard rooms, and there's about 2,100 of them, will be remodeled. We just completed a full remodel of our buffet. We just started a remodel of Steak and Shake. We're remodeling every casino restroom that we have on the property, and those are the big projects up until about September. And with the capital funds for the room remodel, that's going to be the biggest project. And then we'll start picking off the additional things that we want to upgrade. Space-wise, we're kind of out of room. We did buy some additional trailer parking land, and trailer parking on Las Vegas Boulevard is very expensive. But again, it speaks to the commitment that we have to the equestrian community. And if we're doing these large horse events, you got trucks, you got trailers, you have livestock. So we needed some more room for that as well. So, but those are the biggest things that we have coming up, and then we'll get to working on 2020.